All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for joining me today. I'm going to do a quick tutorial on I guess I would say, like flower themed design. If you go to our Instagram, Double Dutch DS, you will see the inspiration for this particular design. I love the fact that the original had the flowers in there, and my theme for this week was about growth and growing. So the words or the statement for this particular t-shirt is grow girl, and then we're just going to add some flowers and foliage in the background. So let's get started. So normally I would just go to the elements. Oh, first off, let's start right here, and you would click create a design, and then you would choose your custom size, and it's really based off of if you're doing print on demand or if you're doing like using Cricut. But normally we use 2000 by 2000 pixels, and then you would just enter that right here and then click on create new design. So normally this would show up with a white background, but because my t-shirt is green, I'm designing on that colored background. So normally I would click on elements, and then I would type in foliage for this first layer. And since I've already done this, I just wanted to use the same flowers and foliage that I used for the Instagram tutorial. So I just went into my recently used, and it automatically appears. So this brown one is the one that I'm going to use. I'm going to change the color. All right, so now what I'm going to do is flip this, yeah, like that. And I'm just going to tilt it a little bit. And I'm going to copy and paste that. And I'm going to rotate it. Just like that. And I kind of want to make this overlap just a little bit. I'm going to resize this and make it a little bit smaller and rotate it some more. Like that. And then I'm going to paste again, and I'm going to rotate this again. So the goal is just to get them aligned how I like it. Later on, we're going to edit it accordingly once we put the words in. So for this one, I'm just going to rotate it again, and then I'm going to flip it horizontally. All right, so I'm just going to resize that just a little. And then I'm just going to stretch it out to make it a little bit bigger. So that's good for now. I'm sure I'll have to go in and move things around once I get the words in, but for right now, this is good. So next, I want to use this one, and this automatically came up as black, which is perfect. And now I'm just going to move it right there. Just kind of rotate it, and I want it to be in between the foliage that we put on the first layer. But for this one, I'm gonna click on position, and I'm gonna choose two back. So it's making it the furthest one in the back. And then I'm just going to copy that again and add this to the side. And the goal is to fill up this empty space that you see in between the solid black. So I'm just going to add one more of these. I'm going to add that one right there. So that's good. Maybe I'll rotate it a little bit. I'm not concerned about the overlapping because that is all going to be covered up once we enter our words. So then I'm going to use this one right here. And again, I'm just going to place it in the empty space. So resize it. I'm using a white node to resize. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to copy that and then rotate it. Like that. And I think that's good. That's good for now. So now I'm just going to add in my flowers. I'm going to resize them to make it fit because that turned out pretty big. So I think that is good. We'll rotate it so this petal is like in the center, which I like that. Then I'm going to choose this one right here and just place it right there. And then the last one, I'm going to choose that. And there we go. Resize it and place it in this space. I want to rotate it as well. All right. So that looks good. And like I said, don't worry about if it overlaps because we are going to cover it up anyway. So right now I'm going to click on text and add a heading, and I'm going to type in grow, and I'm going to click on the three dots and choose this. It's going to make everything in all caps. Then I'm going to change the color, and it's going to be the color of this background, or really this shirt that we're using, the color shirt that we're using. So I'm going to make that, stretch that out and make it as big as I need it to be. Let's see. So I'm moving. All right. Just a little bit bigger. Okay, let's see. We'll leave that like that for right now. And I'm just going to copy and paste it. And then I'm going to type in girl. So as you can see, this is not the same size because of the W. I'm just going to add these lines to be my guide. Start with this side. Okay. So it's not aligning like I want. And it does that sometimes, which is perfectly fine. I'll just stretch it out to meet. All right, so that is good enough for me. And then I'm just going to resize this because I'm going to use this spacing and create more space so that it's similar. And matter of fact, before I do that, I want to move that, the alignment. So that is good. And back to the spacing. There we go. So I'm happy with that. Just going to get rid of those lines, and all you have to do is just drag them off the page and they will disappear. Now for this, I'm just going to copy it and paste, and then I'm going to use my effects and I'm going to use splice. So the purpose of this is to cover up all of the foliage and the flowers that we have in the background, but in order for me to cover it up as much as I want, I needed to add 2 layers. So that's really the reason why I'm doing it. I want it to be covered up more than what that first layer is doing. So one thing, let me see. I want this color and it's not coming up. So what I'm going to do is click on this and then copy that. So now I'm going to go back to grow. Let me change this to black. Yes. And then I want to click on this color and add in my new green. So as you can see, some of the background is still coming through, which is okay. We're going to fix that in just a minute. So I'm just using my arrows to make the first grow, that green grow, show up just a little bit, kind of offset. And then for this one, this top layer grow, I am going to change the direction of it, or the offset. If you pay attention closely, you can see it's moving, and I think I'm going to leave it like that. So now I'm going to copy and paste. All right, it didn't copy, I don't think. No. So I'm just going to copy it again and paste. Okay, and then we're going to add the same splice effect. Yes, that's the color. Change this to black. Perfect. I'm just using my arrows to move that layer over, because sometimes when you use the mouse, it just doesn't move the way that I want it to. All right. So for the effect, I want to, let me see, change the direction. I want it to come, yes, go up more. So that looks good. And now I'm just selecting the girls layer and I'm moving it down because it was too close. I didn't notice that before. But that looks good. So now what I'm going to do is sorry. I'm going to add in some shapes. This circle, I'm going to resize it and place it right there in the center of the O. There we go. I'm going to change the color to match the green. And as you can see, it just blocked out the black that was there before. So now I'm going to repeat that, and I'm going to use that behind the R. And change the color. Now I just copied it. Hopefully it copied it did. And I'm going to add it behind this R position, and I'm going to move it back. There we go. So now at this point, this is pretty much done. What I'm going to do now is move things around so it can look better. And I feel like this is more of a personal preference, if anything. I'm just resizing it. That's coming together. Move that out just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to move this down. And this, I'm going to resize it. It's kind of too big for me. Right. Now, I need to get behind this, so I'm just going to move this over. And that one. There we go. And I want to rotate that. And as you can see, the purple dotted lines are showing up, and I'm using that as my guide. Like I said, I'm going to use my arrows to move that to get that outline effect. So let me make this just a little bit bigger. All right, so that looks good. I'm happy with that. So one last thing. All right, now I'm happy. Now I'm just going to select everything and come up to the three dots and then group, then copy and go down to my mockup. And then I'm just going to resize it, try to make it look as real as possible. And I like this slanted look. I mean, the shirt is kind of slanted anyway, but I kind of like it slanted. So we get this question all the time. We get our mock-ups from Etsy. They have really good ones. And also Places.net has some. And I like the fact that they have videos on there too that you can use. But our favorite place is Etsy. So feel free to check them out. And overall, I think this design turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. So normally you would just click on download and choose the page. As you can see, we have a lot of pages on here. So you would choose the page that you want to download, and I would download it with as a PNG, and then transparent background if you want to add it or just have the design by itself. But if you just wanted to add it to the mockup, you could just click on PNG for the file type and then the page that you want, and then download it. So I hope this video helps. If you all create any designs and get the inspiration from Double Dutch Design School, we would love to see them. Feel free to tag us at Double Dutch DS, and we can't wait to see you all's design. Thank you so much for subscribing, for liking, for all the comments. We really appreciate y'all.